5 lives are saved every minute by the use of vaccines, according to Reno Rappioli from the National Academy of Sciences of the United States of America. That's 7,000 lives a day, and one of those lives could be your own child. Currently, I am a nursing student, and I have found the passion on the topic of vaccines. And I've gathered more information from research to help share with you today. In hopes of protection of the whole society, 85% of the society will get vaccinated. Therefore, the 15% that cannot get vaccinated will be protected from the disease. This is termed as herd immunity. However, worldwide, lack of vaccination has caused vulnerable individuals to get infected with serious and life-threatening diseases that were once eradicated. Now it's time to end the stigma. Since the lack of vaccinations have become a problem, there needs to be a solution to help solve it. Now, there are many problems to the lack of vaccination. Most people are exempt. Others find a way not to receive them. The first problem is that vaccinations are not mandatory, and most people are exempt from getting them. According to the American Journal of Law and Medicine by Isha Ann Emhoff, 47 states allow people to be exempt from vaccines for religious, philosophical, and medical reasons. In fact, the U.S. Religious Freedom Restoration Act protects conflict between vaccinations and religious beliefs that people may have towards them, according to Dana Nathanson from the American Journal of Law and Medicine. Since so many states allow exemption, people who cannot get the vaccine are put in life-threatening danger in situations that they would not want to be put in the first place. Charlotte Lee from the journal Vaccine says that high rates of non-medical exemptions are the reason to multiple outbreaks of diseases that were once eradicated. Therefore, there are no moral reasons to not get vaccinated because it's protecting yourself, your children, and others in the community and society from various life-threatening diseases, such as measles, mumps, and even polio. Secondly, schools do not make it mandatory for school or daycare to get vaccines in order to be there. Lorenzo Capasso and Daniela D'Alessandro from the American Journal of Public Health refutes this idea based on a story of a 6-year-old girl who could not get vaccinated from an immunodeficiency. In class, 18 out of the 18 students were not vaccinated. Therefore, that high percentage of students not being vaccinated was seen as life-threatening to this little girl. She then had to transfer schools in order to save her own life. The school system cannot enforce it, so therefore the parents have their own decision to decide for themselves if they vaccinate their children or not. Since they are given that decision, some choose not to vaccinate just because, and that's a big risk to the greater of the society. Charlotte Lee from the journal Vaccine says that parents' distrust of the government and the healthcare has a significant impact on negative beliefs on vaccines. On an interview with Dr. Paul Offit, he answers to the common type of parents who do not vaccinate their children. Quote, "I think they don't fear the disease. I think it's that simple. In Southern California, you're living a wealthy, upper class environment. You're eating well, you're exercising, you don't see this disease, so you think this is not going to happen to me until it happens to you." End quote. Overall, there are numerous ways to get out of getting a vaccine. However, there are no moral reasons not to. You are protecting your own children and the society and other parents' children who cannot get that vaccine because they are too young or they have that immunodeficiency. Since we have seen some of the major problems, we need to find a solution to fix this. Therefore, the solutions to the lack of vaccinations. In my opinion, there are 3 possible solutions that could play a role to help increase the use of vaccines. One solution is vaccine education. In the journal Health Affairs by James Colgrove and Ronald Baer, research has shown that physicians who provide correct information and are reassuring to parents are able to it's making people think that vaccines are better for them. These reluctant parents then finally see the side of what the physicians see. So therefore, these parents have the correct data and they can make that informed decision on what they know. Unlike the false information from the Lancet study that was published about 1998, there was a belief that autism was linked to a vaccine. And now that study has been refuted and discredited and taken off as a scholarly journal. So therefore, people cannot state it as being scholarly. Now, physicians will provide accurate information, and this can be discussed with the physician, and they can be able to reassure these parents that this does not happen. Now, there are many ways to get info across to the parents, if not through a physician directly. And there are things such as pamphlets that can help people get the information that they need on vaccines. Pamphlets just like this one. Secondly, safety monitoring. One belief that vaccines can save from life-threatening disease can carry problems such as autism. Now, the FDA should implement stricter guidelines and larger study groups, according to James Colgrove and Ronald Baer. In order, by setting stricter guidelines and larger study groups, parents can be at ease knowing that vaccines are actually safe for them, because then the information provided from the study of knowing what the vaccine is safe or not, the information is more accurate than what we are seeing now. Lastly, I believe that making vaccines mandatory for the larger society could create a better good. Reno Rappioli agrees, because vaccines increase life expectancy from the control of those infectious diseases. If we make vaccines mandatory, we can see the life expectancy to start to increase even more. On a smaller scale, instead of making everything mandatory to everyone, it should be mandatory for kids in school or daycare to get vaccines. Therefore, these kids are protected and they are safe. If parents do not agree, they are able to homeschool their own children to make that decision. Therefore, vaccine education, safety monitoring, and making vaccines mandatory can cause an ease of mind and help eradicate these diseases. To conclude, public health officials say refusing to follow vaccine protocols allows serious diseases to spread rapidly, according to James Fullerton Lemons in the article Vaccine Controversies. This is essential to solve this increasing problem of more people not vaccinating their children. Vaccines save lives. It could be your own child or someone else's. You are a hero when you vaccinate.